The Green America Hometown Tour is brought to you by Atrion IT Technology, Rhode Island College, Cardi's Furniture, and the Arpin Group. Last week, we introduced you to Betaspring, one of America's throttling accelerators of smart companies, and told you part of their story. This week, we give you more of their history, their backstory, and look at how one old, very powerful, very important foundation in Rhode Island helped give birth to this entrepreneurial incubator. How much do you know about the Rhode Island Foundation? Is it possible that a private foundation designed to funnel generous donations back into a community loved by their supporters can help lead a struggling state out of a downward spiral and right its ship across its majestic ocean waters? And if they can, how do they do it? And most importantly, can other private foundations do the same? Stay tuned. Welcome back to ReNewable Now. I am here with Alan Butier, again from Betaspring. Alan did a great first segment with us last week. Alan, thanks so much for coming back and for having us here in Providence at Betaspring. Neil Steinberg from the Rhode Island Foundation, good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Neil, and I understand you were out the other day speaking at Rhode Island College, which is one of our sponsors, and you did a terrific job, so thank you for that. And Ted Howell from Partridge, Snow and Hahn, one of the great law firms here in Rhode Island.
Thank you very much.
And Ted, I know you've been a great asset over here at Betaspring. Alan, in the first segment, as you know, people got a chance to meet you, hear a little bit about your background, and find out a lot more about Betaspring and accelerators. Neil Steinberg, why don't you start? And we'd like to get a little bit of the history of the Rhode Island Foundation and that foundation's relationship with Betaspring.
Sure. The Rhode Island Foundation is one of the oldest and largest community foundations, out of about 700 in the country, and we're a philanthropic organization. We work with donors who want to use their wherewithal to make things better in Rhode Island, and then we give out grants with that money to make things better with nonprofits in Rhode Island. And it was about 3.5 years ago. It was Peter Ottmar, who I knew from my days as a
radio guy.
Radio guy, Mercury Mail, now Newbolt, I guess, and called me up out of the blue and said, hey, I want you to meet some guys. And I said, sure, we're in the guy meeting business, and wanted to know what was going on. And so I had the opportunity, and I think it might have been all three. I think it was Owen and Jack and Alan that came over to the foundation and talked about this concept of a business accelerator in Betaspring. And so while I'm running a large nonprofit now, I was a banker for a while, so I was intrigued. And I think what impressed me the most, other than the spectacular story of 3 people who were not native Rhode Islanders that came to Rhode Island by choice, which is a great story in itself, successful, but this concept of accelerator really excited me, because I don't think we have the patience anymore, and I didn't think then, to wait and wait and wait for companies to germinate, to maybe flounder around and grow.
That's a great point.
And so this concept, while it was new to me, appealed to me. I then got invited to come over one day over at Davewall Square, and the first thing I went to was a little pizza session with some mentors. And to be honest, I was very hesitant. And the reason I was hesitant is because I had in my mind that it was going to be very high tech.
When you say hesitant, do you mean to provide some financial support?
No. It's not a place for us to provide financial support. This is a
so you were hesitant
just to come visit, to just see what was going on. I didn't think I'd understand it, candidly. I thought, I'm a pretty down-to-earth
But you saw a lot of it
guy.
on the banking side.
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't a technology person. And so I thought what I was going to see was, high tech, and I need to understand stuff. And when I went over there, I saw the enthusiasm, the hard work, the mentoring, but I started to see products that I actually could understand. New Label, there was an air conditioner company at the time, applications, and while the basis was technology, the products were something I could understand. And then later, I guess that first year, the first session, I went to, I think it was a launch day, where there were investors and young people getting up saying, hi, I'm the CEO of such and such company and giving that pitch in a few minutes. Vibrant, exciting, new future of Rhode Island.
Smart, articulate, and all of those things.
Yeah.
And again, you had a basis, a history for understanding
Right.
business, certainly. If I could, Alan, I just want to ask you real quick while Neil's talking about that. Why did you seek out the foundation and Neil, and how did that kind of affirm or help Betaspring at the time?
Well, when we were getting Betaspring started in Providence, we knew a lot of people, but we didn't know as nearly as many as we do now. And so our advisors said, look, you've got to go meet Neil at the foundation. They really provide a base not just of support for things, for creating change in the community, but are a voice for creating change in the community.
And amazing contacts.
So we knew that we needed to build that relationship, even though we didn't expect financial support to come out of it, because that's not, you know, they're not in the model of, not in the business of supporting for-profits, but we knew that we really wanted to be kind of directionally aligned with what the foundation was doing.
Well, it's a great point, because it's not always about investors and money. There's a lot more that goes into building a company, as you were going through. Ted, your law firm has a great reputation for working with companies. Your involvement at Betaspring?
Yeah, I think it might actually be helpful for me to give a little bit of background. You know, my firm has been around since 1988. We're a business law firm.
You're Rhode Island based?
Rhode Island based,
okay.
Providence headquarters. But my personal history, I was trained as an engineer, a mechanical engineer. And I practiced that for several years, and then I worked for a large Boston firm where I did a lot of work with the dot-coms before the dot-com bust. Eventually moved down to Providence. My roots are here. I was born and raised here. And you know, at that time, it was well before Betaspring was here. And I definitely was seeking out the younger companies and the entrepreneurs. And it was you know, fairly fragmented community at that time. And I got to know these guys eventually through some of my clients. Also Jack Templin, one of the founders, regularly on Wednesday nights each month would have a meeting at AS 220, which is called Providence Geeks, which I'd go and see, so I got to know Jack a bit. And just through involvement, eventually we came to be a sponsor, one of the sponsors, and actually for the last 2 classes have handled legal work for a number of the companies going through the program.
So we're going to go to break, but so you have an involvement now with some of the students, some of the companies, and you're handling some of the legal work. So that really all came to where you wanted to be. You wanted to start to work with some of the incubated, the new companies, and some of those innovative.
Absolutely, it's been a wonderful opportunity for me. You know, I certainly have seen a much larger number of those types of companies that I want to work with.
Especially since they're going out in 2 sessions. We'll be right back.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a 600-pound gorilla, able to pack any home in a single move. Look, pulling up to our house. It's a delivery. It's a truck. No, son, that's the Arpin moving guy. An advanced mover from the Arpin Group, sent to defeat rogue movers and moving giants that provide bad home moves. He delivers customer satisfaction, quality work, and award-winning service. For a super move, call Arpin at 800-343-3500 or visit arpin.com. The moving guy, saving the world from bad moves, one customer at a time.
Damn, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Thanks for staying with us. Ted, when we went to break, you were talking about you starting to do some work, legal work, but What I didn't realize until we went to that break is you actually do some of it, or in the early stages, for free. Is that right?
It's actually all of it, for the most part, is pro bono. What we will provide are the services that are needed to get the company up and running so that they can make their way through the program.
And what's your approach on that? Is that you're trying to help out, you're trying to build a long-term client, you're making an investment? What's the approach of Padre Snow and Hahn?
That's absolutely right. If you want to be a player in this community, then you need to give to the community, and the community will eventually give back. But as I mentioned earlier, it's easy for me. It's a space that I enjoy.
Yeah, and that you have a passion for. Talking about giving back to the community, let's learn more about the foundation. What are some of the things that you do there, Neil? And I know you told me you've been there 4 years. You obviously had a long history in banking. And what are some of the programs that you support? Particularly, I want to start talking about the sustainability side.
Sure, Peter. We support, as the largest funder of the nonprofits, we support all the sectors. So healthcare and education are two top ones, the arts, the environment, human services, and then community and economic development. And we're looking to make positive change going forward. So we're not looking just to put Band-Aids on, we're looking for change. And so another reason why, I was attracted with Betaspring in the early days is you could see the big part of the future. And at the time, I took it upon myself to be a suit telling other suits about Betaspring. And, in the days when nobody knew it, now it's kind of cool I was at the Betaspring event and I got a ticket. In the early days, it was fun to tell people about Betaspring, and it's become what it thought it was. But when you talk about sustainability, we need the companies starting up here. We need the people starting them to grow them here. We need them to stay here and then give back to the community, get philanthropically involved.
That's right.
Our vested interest over the long term, and we're forever, is to see this program, to see Betaspring be as successful as possible, get to as big a scale as these guys can do it, and have the impact of what that does in the economy here.
So as an example, we had Thundermist on when we were down in West Warwick.
Right.
They're headquartered in Woonsocket. Have you worked with Thundermist? Because
Sure.
there's an organization that really seems to be making a difference in the community and is heavily involved in kind of the organic,
Right.
the farm fresh, the prescriptions with fruits and vegetables. What would be your potential role?
Yeah, we've been a big supporter and funder of Thundermist over the years. Primary care is one of our top priorities, and so in Woonsocket and also in the new facility in West Warwick, we've given them operating funds, we've given them programmatic funds. They've had great leadership over the years, and as you know, they provide medical care for large numbers of people in those two in-need parts of the state of Rhode Island.
We did a profile as well with Grossmont.
Yep.
And does the foundation have a role to play there? Because obviously they're touching lots of aspects.
Sure.
Remodeling old buildings,
Yeah.
right? Complete streets, mixed use, things like that. What role would you have?
Again, we're a longtime funder of Grossmart, so
Okay.
we provide them with funding every year. We partner with them. Scott Wolf's an old personal friend. We both share a very positive, optimistic outlook on the state. We're kind of staying around, let's all make it better. They have great impact in their areas of expertise. But again, our job, in addition to providing some leadership and advocacy, we're a funder of these organizations. We help sustain them over the long term.
Alan, the people that are coming through Betaspring now, twice a year, right?
Twice a year, yep.
Do you get a sense that they're migrating more and more towards kind of the green economy, changes in transforming companies? I know it's a lot of technology based, but do you get a sense that we are in essence on this ground basis migrating towards a more sustainable business model?
I mean, I think technology and green have both gone from being vertical segments that companies focus on to horizontal capabilities that you use to build a disruptive business. So technology is in everything, and increasingly green and sustainability is in everything. So I think in the future we'll think that it's quaint to call something a green business.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be a good thing? But do you get a sense that these entrepreneurs have this this passion? Have they grown up? Do they understand it? Are they worried about, I don't know, use of energy, waste?
You're talking about a lot of millennials, Gen Y and Gen X, who've grown up with the message all along that recycling is good, you know, conserving energy is good, waste is bad, right? So they're carrying these messages into the things that they do. So a company like Green Tape, for example, right, which helps you via your mobile phone to find and be rewarded for shopping healthy, shopping local, shopping organic, right? It's a technology solution. It's on your smartphone, right?
There's a great example.
But they're pushing people's consumption patterns towards more local, more organic, more healthy options.
Which
right?
is a big push here in this state anyway. Neil, you're probably aware, agriculture's had some real success. Ted, on the legal side, A, do you guys see it? Do you see it personally? And how does your firm help all of us migrate to a cleaner future, do you think?
Well, it's the first part of that question I'll answer first, and I agree with Alan on the horizontal aspects of it, and a great example of that would be you know, we at law firms are very concerned about information security, sharing information. We're very concerned about using the web and how secure it is.
But you generate a lot of paper.
Exactly. We generate tons of paper.
You drive me crazy.
and I cannot tell you how many clients who are the earlier or the younger clients or earlier stage clients will try to get us working with various programs with document sharing and otherwise, as opposed to sending out the email with all the attached documents to be printed out, reviewed, thrown out, and otherwise. So, you know, with the first part of your question there, I definitely see it.
I see
it.
You do it, you sense it.
Even if it's not something that's the business model is focusing on, the individuals within the business certainly are focusing on it.
Great point. Hold on, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a 600-pound gorilla, able to pack any home in a single move. Look, pulling up to our house. It's a delivery. It's a truck. No, son, that's the Arpin moving guy. An advanced mover from the Arpin Group, sent to defeat rogue movers and moving giants that provide bad home moves. He delivers customer satisfaction, quality work, and award-winning service. For a super move, call Arpin at 800-343-3500 or visit arpin.com. The moving guy, saving the world from bad moves, one customer at a time.
Damn, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Thanks for staying with us, and I have to apologize to Alan. I might be blocking their view, the viewers' view of you once in a while.
I'm all good with that.
And I love that hat. You look good. Ted, finish up.
Sure. So to finish up in the second part of your question, you asked about our firm. And our firm does have a Green Matters program where we try to focus on being more green, more energy efficient, using less paper.
How long has that been in place?
That's been in place for about 4 years now.
Are you seeing some progress?
We've seen some, but not as much as you'd like. And the reason is that we're inherently conservative, and we're worried about whether or not data will be lost. We need to make sure we understand, especially with document control systems, that third parties aren't able to access them, because then the attorney-client privilege is lost with them.
So there's a huge, obviously a reasonable fear about security and everything that means to your clients. So you've got quite the balancing act.
It is.
And so maybe some of Alan's companies can help with technology,
We'll get a startup right on it.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. I love that. We just created a new company while we were sitting here. Neil, the foundation just helped pull together and lead a terrific summit here in the state of Rhode Island. Can you brief us on that and what the intent was, and then we're going to kind of tie in to how this impacts groups like Betaspring and new companies and so forth? And
Sure. It was actually, I just realized 4 weeks ago today, on Friday and Saturday, we pulled a group together of a little over 300 people, representative of solely the private sector. And we did it for a couple of reasons. One was part inspiration, part frustration. The inspiration was that we have great assets here that we don't think everybody's taking advantage of. We had done an innovation fellowship, a Rhode Island Innovation Fellowship, got tremendous ideas. Alan was actually one of the inaugural winners of that. So we were inspired to do that. The frustration was, I've been around here a long time. We've been talking about what we need to do to jumpstart the economy for decades now, and here we sit with the second highest unemployment in the country. So that was there. The reason we stepped in, there was a void. We didn't see leadership. And as far as the foundation's concerned, as I said before, there's two parts to our business. One is working with donors. One is giving out money to those who need it. In a down economy, both of those are impacted. The need goes up, the resources go down. We need a jump start. So we decided we would be a catalyst and pull people together. We had 9 segments. One of the top segments was creating and making sure there's an environment for startups in the state.
And Alan, how do you feel that environment exists today here in Rhode Island?
Well, one of the things that I love about Neil is he always has a sense of urgency and a bias towards action. And I think that was really reflected in the charge that he gave to the Make It Happen Summit.
And you participated, is that right?
I did participate, yep. And the main, I think that our startup community is lucky to be growing very quickly and moving very quickly right now. But the benefit of settings like Make It Happen is it opened the eyes of a much larger community of traditional business people and adjacent nonprofits, and by extension, even though political leaders weren't there because we didn't want them to dominate the conversation, they still were watching the outcomes, right? And to hear the message reinforced that having a fertile breeding ground for startups was extremely important is so useful to our community.
Yeah, it would certainly help you going forward again, looking to expand and bring greater value to the companies that come here. Neil, so in retrospect, how do you evaluate it? Are you happy with some of the ideas? And what is what are the action items from that summit?
Well, the first thing is success will be in 12 months if we could say made it happen instead of just make it happen. And that really, as much as that sounds like a phrase, that is the sense of urgency. Acting as a catalyst, a convener, a collaborator, all those different things, and throwing a little leadership. We're putting together a report which will give the top themes, but we're also publishing all the ideas. There were hundreds and hundreds of ideas because it needs to be organic. It needs to be a little bit of top-down leadership, but a lot of bubbling up. Things are already going on, and what we don't want to do is, well, we can identify here some top themes. You know, we need a marketing plan, we need better skills gap preparation, those type of things. We want somebody to look at idea number 92 and then come over to Betaspring and say, I want to develop, you know, this that we saw, and to really keep it going that way. So, you know, again, setting the stage, but keeping the feet to the fire of those people who can get it done.
All of you can touch on this national election, right? Potentially a change at the top, some state, regional elections. Do you think what happens in Washington will have a significant impact on that summit? What happens at Betaspring, Ted?
I think it will, and one reason that I think it will, actually I'm seeing a little bit of an impact now, and you know, I'm fearful that people are a little bit timid in terms of where things are going with the election. And I think that there are those who are not necessarily in the business community, or more so in the business community, are not taking action when maybe they should.
Well, I think that's a great point. You hear that a lot, where you see deals, in fact, that you might be involved with that just aren't closing or moving forward, right?
That's correct. And so when you look at the entrepreneurial community, it's continuing. So maybe from the outset, it doesn't look like there's an impact. But when you're talking about that community obtaining financing from traditional sources, whether they be banks or otherwise, there is an impact.
There's a definite impact. Less than a minute, Neil?
I'm a believer in resilience and kind of the positive outlook. No matter what happens, no matter who's sitting in what chair, no matter what goes on, business goes on, life goes on, and we're all going to deal with it. We'll figure it out. You know, we're talking about entrepreneurs. There's entrepreneurs in the financial sector. There's entrepreneurs in every sector. They'll come up with new ways to do things, and it may be slow, it may be uncertain for a while, but we'll push forward.
Alan, last word, real quick.
Entrepreneurs figure it out. I don't think that the election will affect long term.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We will look forward to following all of those stories. I will return in a minute with some closing thoughts.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a 600-pound gorilla, able to pack any home in a single move. Look, pulling up to our house. It's a delivery. It's a truck. No, son, that's the Arpin moving guy. An advanced mover from the Arpin Group, sent to defeat rogue movers and moving giants that provide bad home moves. He delivers customer satisfaction, quality work, and award-winning service. For a super move, call Arpin at 800-343-3500 or visit arpin.com. The moving guy, saving the world from bad moves, one customer at a time.
Damn, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
To me that the Rhode Island Foundation plays a key role in Rhode Island. Their investments in nonprofits that work closely with government and private enterprises to reshape this state are clearly an impetus for bringing great people together. This foundation has had some tremendous success stories, and they continue to use their influence by calling leaders to the capital city to construct a plan for positive changes throughout Rhode Island. It struck me that Neil Steinberg made a terrific transition from banking to running a major foundation, but in many ways is still bankrolling lots of dreams and ambitions. It is good to see Ted and his law firm bringing legal expertise to this effort, which is much needed and sometimes forgotten, and finding Betaspring an important part of the collective talent. For Betaspring, being only 3 years old, it shows how quickly hard work and success can push you into a leadership position. We hope they continue for many years to flourish in that role. Come back here next week to ReNewable Now as we start to profile the talent and great companies incubating here at Betaspring and show you their growing role in what we call the business side of clean.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a 600-pound gorilla, able to pack any home in a single move. Look, pulling up to our house. It's a delivery. It's a truck. No, son, that's the Arpin moving guy. An advanced mover from the Arpin Group, sent to defeat rogue movers and moving giants that provide bad home moves. He delivers customer satisfaction, quality work, and award-winning service. For a super move, call Arpin at 800-343-3500 or visit arpin.com. The moving guy, saving the world from bad moves, one customer at a time.
Hi, I'm Maureen Carey, publisher of Rhode Island Natural Awakenings magazine. I'm excited about our new partnership with ReNewable Now. Natural Awakenings is a free monthly publication committed to providing services and information to our community to improve your quality of life physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You'll find cutting-edge information on natural health, nutrition, fitness, personal growth, green living, and the products and services that support a healthy lifestyle. You can find our magazine at health food stores, coffee shops, yoga studios, libraries, and wherever free publications are generally seen. We are locally owned, locally produced, and supporting the Rhode Island economy naturally. You can find us online at rinaturalawakenings.com.